everybody. I'm Naomi Fitter, the host for this evening, and welcome to Friday Night Funny's Science and Comedy Showcase. We have gathered here tonight some of the most scientifically trained comedians that I've ever crossed paths with, including folks who are illustrious science communicators, who use digital media in their acts, and who just happen to have multiple graduate degrees in STEM and also be very funny comics. We also have a wonderful live studio audience here tonight. I don't know if the studio audience is hot right now.
Woo!
Oh, there they are. Thank you also to the studio audience for being here, and thanks all of you out there on the internet for tuning in. I felt like this was a weird time to do a comedy show because really we should be thinking and talking about institutionalized racism, the recent and tragic deaths of George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, and Breonna Taylor have brought to the surface new conversations about failures of the justice system and the perpetuation of racism in the United States. I am in a privileged position because of various identities that I hold through my position as a university professor here at Oregon State, and because I have platforms like this to communicate with the public. I'm also from the same tri-state area as Breonna Taylor, and I turned 30 this week, and she did not live to see her 27th birthday, which would have been today. This is, at the end of the day, a comedy show, and I feel like I would be remiss if I didn't tell you some jokes. But at this particular moment in time, I also think I would be remiss if I avoided addressing what my field of science is doing, whether knowingly or unwittingly, to propagate institutionalized racism. So to address that, I've written some very fresh, very untested, sorry about that, jokes about these issues, and I'll mix them in with some of my other nerdy jokes to help you hopefully have both an entertaining and an educational time tonight. So just jumping into that, what a weird mix of things. I finished my doctorate in robotics in 2017. I'm not sure if I want anyone to call me Dr. Fitter, though. To me, Dr. Fitter sounds like an off-brand soda that nobody wants to drink. Dr. Naomi is a little better, but it still makes me sound more like a daytime talk show personality than somebody who does science. And I'm not super traditional, but sometimes I think about changing my last name to Vilk, my husband's last name.
Oh.
Dr. Vilk sounds evil, but it's at least a scientist's name. It would be an improvement.
I don't like it.
He doesn't like it. I've been a nerd for a long time now, but growing up, I also got in trouble a lot, but it was also kind of the nerd's version of trouble. Like, I punched a kid in the face in the 3rd grade, but it was because he tried to break my multiplication table recitation record and I was defending my turf. Sorry, Chris Caswell, you had to get in the track of that. I climbed out the window once while bored during my junior high algebra class.
That's true too. Is that true?
It
Yes.
is true.
Oh.
That's my parents heckling me. They'll only heckle during my set, though. I climbed out the window because the high school was only a half mile away, and I heard they had calculus there. I really was bored. I wanted harder math. I also got a detention for looking at pornography on a school computer. I know you're not laughing because you know the real story is that what really happened was that I hacked the school firewall to access my Zanga online journal during math club. But the school administrators couldn't think of any other reason that I would have bypassed the network restrictions other than pornography. A meaningful, formative event. My doctoral dissertation was on human-robot high fives. That's not a joke, but at the same time, it kind of is a joke. Thank you. Now I'm questioning my life decisions. I discovered that high-fiving robots with stiffer arms actually seemed less pleasant to high-five with. So finally, we have a plausible explanation for why there are fewer sex robots for women. And I know what some of you are thinking, well, there are a lot of vibrators out there, but vibrators only meet Spong, Hutchinson, and Vinyasagar's definition of a robot if they kiss you sweetly on the forehead after you finish. That's the definition of robotics. That's too dirty for my family who's out there
right now.
in the audience. Hold your ears, yeah. In some of my more recent work, I found that small human-like robots can train infants to practice motions that will help them take their first steps. And our next trials will focus on training 20-year-olds to make phone calls. We could do that. We'll see. Maybe we'll try it in the future. In robotics, we use a lot of big data, and I know you may be wondering, what is big data, and like how big is it? Well, you have to remember that we still have mostly men working in computer science, so you have to make sure you take the size of the data they claim and divide it by 2. One of the best books I've read about problems in big data and machine learning is Cathy O'Neill's Weapons of Math Destruction. It's foreboding, but it's also a pun, so it's okay to laugh. And an early example of machine learning in the book was a British medical school that used simple software to screen applicant resumes, ultimately using past discriminatory data to build a system that weeded out women and people with foreign-sounding names. In other words, their system performed equivalently to giving a stack of applications to your racist uncle and asking, which ones do you like? If everything goes well, they'll have 20 doctors named John Smith by year's end. No, that's not really true. This actually happened in 1970, so that means by now they'll have at least 1,000 John Smiths. These are very fresh jokes, late night style about big data. I hope you're enjoying them. I hope you're at least learning something. Another topic discussed in the book is recidivism models, which I know you might be thinking sounds like really, really, really skinny models. Or maybe like a model you can use to predict how much of your father's hair disappears every year. That's laser targeted at my father.
I didn't like it.
But what they actually are, these recidivism models, is off-the-shelf machine learning algorithms meant to predict a defendant's risk of committing future crimes. And these are used in different courts and by judges to help with sentencing. But these models are often biased against Black individuals, both, one, because humans and therefore past data are racist, and 2, because although the assessment doesn't include race, it includes many circumstances of an individual's birth and upbringing, like age of first involvement with the police or criminal records of friends and family, which are currently correlated with race. That's like if you used the YouTube algorithm for determining what video to play next, but instead of choosing a video, it's assigning your jail time. And there's no likes or dislikes because the issue's unseen for the most part. There's no comments because most cases are settled by plea bargain. And the algorithm sees that you've listened to Ariana Grande thousands of times, but then someone who's been stealing your Wi-Fi watches an Insane Clown Posse music video just one time. And now you're getting spam for Juggalo conventions and long lists of ICP auto-suggestions and you keep wondering for no clear reason, magnets, how do they work? It's kind of like that. That's a rambling recidivism model joke. There's crime predicting software too. Crime predicting software like Predpol states that its goal is to identify the times and locations where specific crimes are most likely to occur, then patrol those areas to prevent future crimes from occurring. So finally, an automatic way to tell cops to police low-income neighborhoods. It's a sad laugh, sad laugh. Critics are calling it the least transparent and most profitable version of broken window policing. That's a deep cut. How about this one? The company says that the PRED stands for predictive, but at parties they admit it really stands for predatory.
Ouch.
It's a very political set. How about this one? Their white collar crimes plugin just takes you to a blank page that says boys will be boys, and then automatically launches the Bejeweled Blitz app.
Oh.
It's too, yeah. Everybody go read things and learn. It's important.
Yeah.
It's hard. Have some hard conversations. More recently, this type of technology has been used in some even more alarming ways. In 2009, the Chicago Police Department assembled a list of the 400 most likely people to commit a violent crime. Please note, these people had not yet committed a crime, and the police paid them home visits just to say, watch out. So, in honor of the parallels between this real-life practice and the blockbuster hit Minority Report, stay with me. Because of that parallel, officers call this drive to the predicted criminals' houses the old Tom Cruise.
Oh no.
Rough. How about, says Steven Spielberg, honestly, I never meant for it to be a biopic. So. Lastly, sources report their next big breakthrough will be arresting people after they've committed crimes. I like that one.
Yeah. Good one.
So I'll try to build the energy back to a normal place for a comedy show, closing with a little bit about my job right now as an assistant professor of robotics at Oregon State. And I do this job with this voice and like this body and this face. So it takes me about 30 minutes to start class. Hey everybody. All right. Who's ready to learn? Okay. That's pretty much how it goes. I also use PowerPoint instead of writing on the chalkboard because I don't want students to see my curvy posterior.
Oh.
You can't see it right now, but I do have one. My class enrollments are already out of control, and the last thing I need is a spicy chili pepper on ratemyprofessor.com. This term I had 140 students.
Whoa.
Even with these tactics, I had an incident last term. One of my advisees came to me and said, "This might be a weird thing to say, but you are very cute." I know.
Can't say
And you can't say that. So as you can imagine, I responded by saying, "This might be a weird thing to say, but get the heck out of my office." Sometimes, because of how my face looks, I have trouble delivering bad news. Like, you failed your midterm.
Wow.
No, I'm not happy about it. Men have said a lot of things to me, but they have never said, "You should smile more." And that's one thing for which I can be truly appreciative. I'm excited to kick off what's bound to be a very funny and enlightening show tonight. So I want to go ahead and bring up the next act to the stage. This next act has a PhD in biophysics and is an awesome educator and science communicator in the Seattle area. Please give it up for Valerie Bentavania.
Woo!
Woo!
Oh, hi. Thank you. It is very, very weird doing comedy today. And so before I start, I kind of want to ask you for every time you laugh, do that thing you used to do in school where you like take little notes, like how many times someone said, your teacher said, or whatever. Every time you laugh, draw a little line, and for all of those lines, go follow a Black scientist on Twitter. In case I'm not funny at all, which is possible, nevertheless, go follow Black AF in STEM and Twitter. Just diversify your view on the world. And now I am going to very privilegedly complain about my PhD. Okay. When did I graduate? I think it was last year. I got my PhD, and as a PhD holder, what you don't know is that you automatically become an expert in doing a PhD as well. So I want to share that knowledge with the world. Doing a PhD has multiple phases to it, 4 in fact. I've named them. And without further ado, I'm going to sing you the PhD medley. I also like to call this 4 reasons why Disney's going to sue me over copyright. So when you start your PhD, you think science is awesome and that you're going to do awesome things with that science and that you're like going to save the world. This is phase 1. It's called naive optimism. Do you want to be a superhero? You can do it if you try. You don't have to be from outer space or some mutant race or able to fly. See, you can be a scientist and save the world, pursue knowledge and always ask why. So I'm gonna be a superhero, a nerdy science superhero. All I gotta do is try. But then maybe a year into your PhD or into grad school, or a few months, or that moment when you stopped reading all those papers your supervisor told you to read and you get into the lab, you realize that like, it's kind of hard. This is phase two. I used to call this one smiling on the outside, crying on the inside, AKA how I feel about the state of the world. I think we're all crying on the outside as well right now. So that doesn't apply. The papers are always better from your competition's lab. You thought that this would be easy, like catching a lazy crab. But now your machine is broken, and frankly, you're not that smart. You thought you could change your field, but you'll just play a tiny part. Damn, this is tough. Damn, this is tough. If I'm realistic, PhDs are sadistic, and I'm not into that stuff. To get results, you work all day and night, and things still won't go your way. Be lucky to get some teeny tiny good outcome. Damn, this is tough. I know that song sounded upbeat, but yeah. Phase 3 is even worse. I like to call this one rock bottom. System is still broken. What? Analysis is stuck. No, you've got no data, and here's the bottom line. You'll never have any luck. I wonder why they hired me. It was to reach some quota. How did I survive so long? Maybe I should quit, and Hakuna Matata, that's not even the right song. So maybe I should be a stripper. I could be good at that. There's like one room, take all your clothes off and just keep on your hat. So there are 4 songs. So when I wrote this set, I was still in grad school and doing comedy through a program that was funded by the university. So I needed to end on a happy note. You can see how much I believe in that note. Yeah, so phase 4, yes we can. Well, hey, I made it this far. Perhaps I won't need a thing. Cause you see, my friend, I'll reach the end, unlike King Louie and his chin. So no more monkey business. I'll buckle up and get my degree. And I'll say, see you soon, you big baby. I don't mean my supervisors. There's just no stopping me. Never mind, actually, I hate this song. I'm gonna sing you another song that is more appropriate for the fact that I actually finished my PhD. You've got a PhD. You've got a PhD. Good luck finding a job now. Thank you. That was the PhD medley. I'm actually incredibly surprised I made it through grad school because I usually introduce myself as tall, nerdy, and clumsy, with an emphasis on the clumsy. I don't know how I worked in a lab and did not accidentally poison myself. Actually, I do know. I had a song playing in my head the whole time. And just for like anyone out there that's an aspiring scientist and worried that they might kill themselves in the lab, this is a very catchy song. So just remember this when you work in a lab and don't die. So, shine a laser in your eye, eat a piece of bacterial contaminated pie, stick your hand in an ultrasound bath, your head explodes from doing too much math. Dumb ways to die, so many dumb ways to die. Dumb ways to die, so many dumb ways to die. Trip over an electrical cord, accidentally open a toxic lab door, switch your drinking water for some chemicals, use that laser light to shave your balls. Dumb ways to die, so many dumb ways to die. Dumb ways to die, so many dumb ways to die. Prick yourself with a syringe, get bitten by a mouse with an eating binge. Expose your skin to UV light, try telling your supervisor you think they're not right. Dumb ways to die, so many dumb ways to die. Dumb ways to die, so many dumb ways to die. Hold your hair in a Bunsen burner flame, think doing science comedy's your ticket to fame. Use radium to polish your nails, sing dumb ways to die and get sued by, I think it was Australian Rail. Dumb ways to die, so many dumb ways to die. Dumb ways to die, so many dumb ways to die. I usually do this song as a sing-along, but it seems weird to do over the internet. Anyway, I have one more song for you. I wrote this song around Valentine's Day for the true love of my life, which is tardigrades. If you don't know what tardigrades are, let me explain. They're also called moss bears. They're like tiny little creatures that look like koalas with 2 legs too many, or like the Michelin guy with a bunch of layers. And they can survive in the most extreme circumstances, like moss, no, that's not extreme, volcanoes, or out in space. They accidentally got sent to space and survived vacuum and came back. So they're pretty amazing. They're called tardigrades. I love them. So that's what this is for. Actually, another song that will get me sued by Disney. I feel like I'm getting sued a lot. It's probably a bad idea. I should write original melodies. Maybe later. Tardigrades are better than people. There's no denying it's true. They've been sent to the moon, and that alone makes me swoon. Chord mess up there. Oops. I want a pet tardigrade, don't you? Of course you do. But you are even better than tardigrades. There are no tardies on you. Sure, they've been to outer space, but do you know what looks like a butt? Their face. And that's why I'd rather kiss you. That was my set. As I said, I did hear a few laughs, so please do go follow some Black scientists on Twitter, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the show. Bye.
Woo!
Woo! Let's hear it one more time for Valerie. The first time I heard that Dumb Ways to Die song, well, it's still stuck in my head. It was in March, and I still sing it as I walk around my house. So I hope you all enjoy and yes, have that stuck in your head for a while. Very entertaining, a hauntingly beautiful melody. For those watching on Facebook, the Valiant Nate will be plugging our virtual tip jar in the chat tonight. I know a lot of the individual performers have creative plans of what to do with the money for social justice. So if you're able to contribute, we'll try to maximize your donations by multiplying it with the help of San Francisco enterprises, for example. I want to keep this awesome lineup going. The next performer coming up to the stage hails from India and has a master's in intelligent robotics and a PhD in computer science, but usually doesn't bring any of this up on stage. You might be surprised that despite our related backgrounds, we actually met at a comedy club, not at a university. Please give a warm welcome to AJ Srivastava.
Woohoo! Yeah.
Woo. And you want us to stay on stage?
Yeah, please stay on stage. Thank you. Hey, I just flew in from India just for this show. That joke works better in other circumstances. I don't have jokes today. I don't have jokes, so I would like to do a song for you if that's okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. I've written the song recently. It's very close to my heart. I hope you like it. It's called A. Thank you very much.
Okay.
It's a hard song to do because sometimes I go, but that's G, a completely different song.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I started playing the piano about 4 years ago, and I thought I was doing well until my ex-girlfriend told me I was terrible. So I stopped seeing her. Don't want that negative energy, man. Yeah, but piano is hard indeed, and some people are so talented, they can play by ear, which is crazy because I can only play by fingers. I tried playing by ear, but my neck hurts. You see, Beethoven, he used to play by ear. He went deaf. Yeah. Beethoven, as you know, he used to play the piano to get away from his abusive father. What a tragic thing, and because as a child, you can't get away from your parents. You can't get rid of your parents, right? Can you break up with them? Like, Mom, Dad, we need to talk. It's been fun being your son, but I think it's time for me to start seeing other parents. We can still be friends. Terrible thing, abuse of authority, because, as a parent, you have authority. Talking about abuse of authority, hey, racism, hey. Yeah, I'm so glad that finally the entire nation, your nation has spoken out against racism and has finally accepted racism that it's around. And I'm glad for two reasons. One is that first, that this is about equality, this is justice. It's not asking for too much, right? Right, yeah. Second thing, I'm glad because finally, I no longer expect an American to come to me and say, oh, you're from India? You guys have the caste system, right? Yeah. Well, the caste system might just be better than the race system. Who knows? People have said that to me, and they say, "Oh, you have caste system. Did you have servants? Were you a servant? Did you have?" Do you have a lot of cows hanging around? And we do. It's true. We do have a lot of cows hanging around. And you know why they're hanging around? Because we don't eat them. And the cows know. So they walk with confidence. They look at you and say, "Oh, humans, what are you going to do? Worship me?" Of course, they can't just hang around here because you would eat them. India is very different from the US. For example, in India, at a stop sign, if there's a car, pedestrian, and a bike, do you know who has the right of way? The cows have the right of way. They know, so they take their time. As they're across, they give you a look. So you honk. Now you've made it personal. Now the cow will give you a full turn. You're tearing me apart. This reference was much funnier in the 60s. Some few millennium. Yes. So I am from India, and until 7 years ago, I used to be in India, and I used to perform in front of like 2,000, 3,000 people. Yeah, which in India means only your immediate family. Yeah. But you know, I used to perform for 2,000 people, and then I moved to Los Angeles, did comedy clubs, 50 people, 100 people, did open mics for 2 people, and now we're down to 1 machine. I don't even know if you guys are there, just performing for yeah. But you know, we won't be in lockdown forever, you know, and one day this will all be over and we'll be dead. We'll finally see each other in person. And you know, wouldn't it be so weird that when you see someone finally and they don't start a conversation without saying, "Hello, can you hear me?" Or perhaps this will become the new norm, right? Like this will, some of these habits will carry over. And when you meet a person, you say, "Hello, yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Good. I can see you. Can you see me? Good. You know, they try to show you the photos of their ugly dogs, and you can say, no, I can't see a screen. No. I don't know if you clicked on that button. No, nothing. I see nothing. Actually, my internet is not working, so I gotta go. Okay. Yes, but annoying things, man. We'll have to. I mean, I'm actually worried that I'll have to see people in person, you know, because there are a lot of annoying interactions that we go through. Most annoying thing is if I have to order a sandwich, I have to answer like 50, 60,000 questions. Like, what kind of bread? Would you like lettuce, tomatoes, onions? What kind of cheese? Would you like it toasted? For here to go, would you like a bag? And finally, when you think you've answered all the questions, paper or plastic? Now, at this point, I ask the person who's bagging, you know, why don't you decide for once? Oh, Mr. Bagger, why don't you choose? And he says, sorry, sir, baggers can't be choosers. Annoying interactions will happen. We'll have to go be out and see annoying signs. They're signs by the freeway, so annoying. And you know, back in the day when I used to go out of this house and drive around my car. Oh, that reminds me, I had just changed my GPS to a British accent. And it was very effective, actually. I guess as an Indian, I'm used to taking orders from the British. Yeah, but I would be driving by the freeway and I would see these giant signs saying, "Don't drink and drive. That text can wait. Better unread than dead. Better unread than dead. Better unread than dead." As I'm reading these signs on how to avoid accidents, I almost got into an accident. I mean, that's it for me. I'm not reading any more of those freeway signs. You know, better unread than dead. Then there are signs that are annoying because they just don't have the right formatting. Something is really wrong with those formattings. Like the no parking anytime signs, typically they'll have no in bold and then parking anytime. And as I'm driving away from such a sign, I would imagine the sign telling me, no, parking anytime. And finally, the most annoying thing that I find is the most annoying thing people say, especially in Los Angeles, and they say, I love meeting new people. They're very interested in meeting new people, which means they're interested in meeting with you only once. That you're not new anymore. Hey, I say, if you're interested in meeting new people, go to a hospital, attend a childbirth. Because when that baby comes out, that's the newest you can get. Is this how babies come out? I don't know. I've never seen this happen in real life. Maybe it's more elaborate. Maybe it's more like, hi, I'm new in town. That's how I came out, and that's how I'll leave. Thank you very much.
Give it up one more time for AJ. Woo! And our visible audience. Hello, everybody. This is such an awesome lineup. I want to keep moving along and bring up our next act. Oh, she's already here. The next act has a BS in chemistry and is a science communicator based in Washington, D.C. She runs the DC Science Comedy and presented the TEDx talk Sneaking Science into Stand-Up, which I think is just super awesome. So please welcome to the virtual stage, Kasha Patel.
Woo! Hello! Yeah. Can everyone hear me? Oh boy, does my voice sound deeper? This is very important. I guess you guys don't know what I normally sound like. Sometimes this microphone makes my voice sound deeper, and sometimes it just makes it very different. What I'm trying to say is I'm really tired of learning about new technology during this quarantine. That has been the worst part of this quarantine, is every day I have to learn how new microphones work, how new cameras work, how computers actually work. And the hardest part is, like, if I'm on a Zoom call and I'm the only Indian, people will always think that I know the answer. And I'm like, dude, I just downloaded Zoom 5 minutes ago. I have no idea what I'm doing. So I'm glad that we have AJ on here because he's actually Indian. So he can probably help us out here. I'm going to do the same thing that he did and actually bring up everyone's faces again, because otherwise I'm just talking to myself and it looks very odd. Oh, look how nice everyone looks. Yeah, thank you. I want you to know that I also do this in real comedy clubs in real life. I tell everyone to turn up the lights, and then I go through and see what everyone's wearing and judge them if they're not wearing pants. So I just want you to know it's the same exact thing. What a nice crowd here. I like how John decided to label himself as audience member number 1. But nobody else labeled themselves. And you know that you could put yourself as audience member number 1 too, and then you could just battle it out. It'd be kind of a fun thing for all the audience members. Oh, all right. John looks like he's ready to take on audience member number 1. He must be really bored during this quarantine if this is what he's going to the mat for. AJ, I like that you shortened your first name. That's not his real name. Sorry, white people. That's not his real first name, but honestly, you should really just shorten your last name too, because it's just as complicated. Just call yourself like AJS or AJ Shri. But you don't need to do that. Just make people learn how to say your name. My name's actually pretty simple to say. It's Kasha Patel. It is a foreign name. And I always think that foreign names always have the prettiest meanings. Like my mom's name is Shobha, which literally means beauty. My brother's name is Kavi, which means poet. My name, Kasha, also has a meaning. It is a type of buckwheat. My ex-boyfriend actually found that out and had to break up with me. He was gluten-free.
Oh.
I wanna say that a lot of things have been happening, you know, this entire quarantine, and especially in the past 2 weeks. I'm actually located in DC, Washington, DC, the lesser Washington, I think right now. I think you guys, Washington State, win this one, at least for the next 4 years. I don't know. Who knows what's going to happen? It can either be 6 months, 4 years. I don't know. DC is the only city where its reputation changes every 4 to 8 years, I feel like. You know, Pittsburgh, we know it sucks all the time. So I just, it's really complicated to be in DC. I have a lot of feelings about it. It's okay, Oriana, you can laugh out loud at that. You can show your hatred for Pittsburgh openly. Is anyone here from Pittsburgh? Good, screw you guys. To all the people out there on Facebook Live. Yeah. So I want to know, how many of you guys are actually scientists? You can raise your hand. All the performers. It did feel weird to be introduced with a BS when everyone else has a PhD. It's like, don't even bother. Just say I'm a high school dropout at this point. They don't need to know my education. Although according to Valerie's songs, it doesn't sound all that it's cracked out to be. So maybe I did come ahead. I'm not really sure. Monday is actually World Oceans Day, which is important. It was important to me because I actually work in the earth science field. And it's really great now to be thinking about climate change because it is relatively positive compared to everything else that's going on. Like oceans, you think you have it bad? Who cares? Just don't go murdering each other. It's fine. Oh, what? We go skinny dipping in the ocean? You think that's bad? Oh, wait, did we just Me Too the ocean? I don't know. There's actually a lot of really smart animals in the ocean. Like the smartest invertebrates, like squid, can actually recognize themselves in the mirror. Octopuses can actually open a jar, and cuttlefish did not vote for Trump. So they are extremely smart invertebrates out there. I've actually heard earlier today that we've actually only explored 2 to 5% of the ocean. We only know about 2 to 5% of the ocean. But you have to remember, that includes the fact that some people think that there's a Loch Ness monster out there. So I feel like that's like negative points. We really know nothing about the environment or the ocean at all. I do work a lot with climate change. I actually read a study that said one out of six. Oh, I can hear an echo in myself. This is so cool. Oh, that's why they had to keep it muted. That's okay. Your faces are bright enough that, you know, I'm only looking at you guys now. You guys are just all that's in my screen. Oh, now see, you put your hand over. I can see that. So there's no point in doing that. I'm just kidding. You guys are very small. You're very small, very insignificant in my line of view right now. It's like you're barely there. I actually read a study that said 1 out of 6 species will go extinct due to climate change if we don't change our ways. So I'd like to nominate some species. I feel like number 1 could be the Kardashians. I don't know, doesn't feel like they're that useful. Number 2 could be people who would pay to go see a Tiger King movie. That seems very unnecessary. And the last group would just be people who kill each other for no reason. I feel like that can probably be off by about 10, 15,000 years ago. I feel like that would have been good enough for me. I have been stuck in quarantine, as everyone has been. It's actually really cool to do these Zoom comedy shows. I am meeting so many wonderful performers here. I was very excited about this show. All of my shows, I've been able to connect with so many different people. And in order to do this outside of quarantine is very difficult. I mean, there's someone from India, Washington, to me, that's like the same thing. It's still a very expensive plane ticket that I can't afford. If we were supposed to do this in real life, the only way we could get all of you guys together is if we were really, really rich, or if we were really, really poor and we had to do Zoom comedy willingly. Like, wouldn't that be something? Like, what if this quarantine's over, like in a month or two, and we're all still doing Zoom comedy shows because we're just too poor to buy plane tickets or like get gas? I'm definitely on the second side of that. I'm literally sitting on a bucket. I'm sitting on a bucket. Do you guys believe? Do you want to see my bucket? It's literally I like how Oriana went no, and then she's like, oh wait, yeah, other people do. I'm sitting on a bucket for mortar. This is mortar because I have to build my own sidewalk because there's nothing else to do. Actually, to be fair, I did buy an exercise ball because I thought that I needed more exercise. But then I decided to build a pizza oven. So I took that outside, but the mortar kept falling. So I used my exercise ball in the pizza oven, and now it's just stuck there. So that's why I'm sitting on a bucket that still has some mortar in it. So I'm not going to get this pizza oven done. That's one thing that I've learned. I've learned a lot of things during this quarantine. I've learned how to partially make a pizza oven. I've learned how to ruin a perfectly good exercise ball. I've learned how to clean my stove with baking soda. I've learned how to clean my bathtub with baking soda. I've learned how much baking soda costs. I've learned how to fold my clothes in under 5 minutes. And I was able to do all of those things while fighting with my boyfriend daily. So the true value is I've learned how to multitask, is what I'm trying to say. And that is a skill that I will use way past the quarantine when it's over. I've been stuck here with my dog, which has been fun. My dog is actually a rescue. He rescued me from having a big bank account. Because he knows that money is the root of all evil. It was cute though, because before the quarantine, every time I would leave the house, he would always pee and poop because he was like very nervous and really loved me. And I realized that I am my dog's emotional support animal, which was so difficult because he can't board a plane without me. And it's just very awkward that I always have to be there with him. So I don't know. But now, actually last week, we've been stuck together for over 70 days. Last week, I actually found my dog hiding in the closet. Even my dog is tired of in-house socializing at this point. I do telework with my dog. We both do my job together. And I've learned that he is like the Kim Kardashian of computer technicians. His butt creates a lot of problems. He would definitely have gotten promoted if he had a real job, but he's unmotivated. So there's not much you can do about that. I've been watching a lot of TV during this quarantine, a lot of TV shows, a lot of good movies are on HBO. I learned that if HBO is where all the hot new TV shows are, then Hulu is a hospice center. Yeah. I thought the Mindy Project was canceled. No, it just moved to Hulu and then it got canceled. I do like watching TV and better than browsing the internet because especially recently the internet has been it's been an educational place, but it's also been a very toxic place if you're not willing to accept things. There's also a lot of really weird theories on the internet. Naomi can attest. So a lot of people think that robots are going to take over the world. Robots are going to take over the world. Naomi, is that true? Are robots going to take over the world?
Not right now, for
Not
sure.
right now. Not right now. Yeah, that's right. tear gas is taking over the world right now. Okay, sorry. Not right now. I actually, when I heard this fact that people think that robots are going to take over the world, I actually pulled out a dirty wine glass from my dishwasher and thought, not this one. My friend actually said that he has a dishwasher that costs $10,000 and that cleans dishes on the first time every single time. And I was like, wow, I just can't afford a robot that will take over the world. I can only afford a middle class, blue collar, takes 3 times to get it right dishwasher. And that's the way that I like it. I did let a more sophisticated robot into my house. I got a robot vacuum. And again, people were like, don't let a robot into your house. They're going to take over the world. And when they do, they're going to have all of your garbage. And it was weird because the other day, my robot vacuum actually knocked over a table and then cleaned and broke a glass and then cleaned it up. I was like, is this robot showing remorse? Like, out of all the Terminators, I got the empathetic one, which I thought was very nice. I do think it's weird what scientists are creating robots to do. They're creating robots that can play soccer and dance salsa. I'm like, are these scientists just assembling friends at this point? I don't really understand. Naomi, if you assembled, oh, there was a big cat right there. Oh, that was a big cat. All right, no one can see that now because now I'm spotlit. Naomi, you should build a student for a robot. They would definitely not call you cute. They would just say, you are affirmative, and then beep, bop, 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 beep in a really positive way. So, and then you could just shut it off when it tries to sleep with you for an A. Yeah. I am a science writer. That's actually what I do every day, all day. And it's great because every day I get to talk to scientists and I'm always learning new things. Like I learned that astrophysicists are very good spellers because they're constantly spelling all these really long, complicated words like heliopause, spectroscopy, insufficient funding. Part of my job is to help people understand the difference between fact versus myth. So for example, fact, you can get chlamydia if a koala urinates on you. Myth, your wife will believe you. I do read a lot of studies all the time. I actually read a study the other day that said men are funnier than women, but it was written by a man. So I just thought he was joking the entire time. I was like, oh yeah, this abstract, this is hilarious. Like, do I believe it? Do I not? Who knows? It's entertaining. Who knows? I think one of my favorite parts about science though is NASA. I think NASA is so cool because you do all these things in space. Like scientists actually estimate, we were the first ones on the moon, right? Scientists actually estimate those footprints will last for 1 million years, which is the longest example of a man not cleaning up after himself. All right, guys, I've been Kasha Patel. I actually do have a World Oceans Day themed comedy show on Monday. All the funds go to support STEM programs for Black scientists and naturalists. And we actually have a really baller lineup showcasing a lot of Black comedians and Black scientists in the STEAM community. So check it out. My name's Kasha Patel. I'm like the only one in the world because Kasha is not a real word. It's not a real name. So yeah, thank you guys so much. You've been great.
Woo! Let's hear it one more time for Kasha.
Yeah.
Now we're in a weird spotlit arrangement. Let's see. Maybe I'm up in the corner of your screen. Maybe I'm in the middle. Who knows? That was awesome. Kasha, I'm doing a study right now on gender and comedy with a robot so that I can isolate the gender bias. So I'll keep you updated. The robot just has a different voice, male or female, but otherwise does exactly the same thing. So we can
I love it.
finally know, is there just the same gender bias in comedy as everything else?
Wow.
This is my most political show ever, and a tough one for the Kardashians. So if you're listening out there, Chloe, Kim, sorry, or look at, I don't know, introspection is due, perhaps. And Kasha is sitting on a bucket, so don't forget that you can look at the Facebook chat for the virtual tip jar. We'll split the proceeds there between all the performers tonight, except for me, because I don't need more money. The next performer, let's see, we'll see how the staging looks. Who knows how it looks right now. But the next performer coming to the virtual stage has been featured at San Francisco Sketch Fest, Bridgetown Comedy Festival, and beyond. He runs the Takis multimedia show in San Francisco. So please give it up and welcome to the virtual stage, DJ Real.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me, Naomi. It's really excited to be here tonight. I want to apologize ahead of my set. Everything I do in my act is very stupid. It's very dumb. And the set was not prepared or changed at all from what I normally do in light of everything that's been happening. So I'm sorry. But hopefully you're all doing the good work. And yeah, thanks for having me. I'm just going to start. I'm going to start and be stupid. Computer, are you ready to do your thing here? Yeah. Okay, great. The computer's working. In my true fashion, I wrote a song about my tiny butt. And if you guys have tiny butts out there, I'd love to hear you sing along to the song that you've never heard before. Here we go, Tiny Butt. I've got a tiny butt like my dad. He's got a little butt just like me. I've got an itty bitty tush like my mom. We're a tiny butt family. All right, thank you so much. It's a little butt about me. So it's been some good puns tonight. Just thought I would join in on the fun. All right. Well, that's how we do it here in DJ Real Land. I'm gonna head over to a segment I like to call Bad Jokes All Up in Your Face. This is a segment that I'm gonna move this down here. Let's do that one more time. Bad jokes all up in your face. Now it's all up in your face. Oh man, I went to the doctor's recently. I said, Doc, my stomach hurts. He said, DJ Real, you need to have a colonoscopy. I said, a colonoscopy? How long is that going to take? He said, 1 hour. I said, listen, Doc, I'm in a hurry. Can I just get an apostrophe-oscopy? It's shorter. Bad jokes all up in your face. All right. Thank you. All right. It's a little hit, little delayed reaction. Man, it's been a pretty exhausting year. It's been pretty exhausting. I've been yawning a lot at myself in the mirror. You guys, yawns are pretty contagious. Did you ever yawn in the mirror and catch a reflection and then yawn for 4 hours, get caught in a feedback loop, and then your girlfriend has to come in or boyfriend, and they catch the yawn at an angle, and then you just sneak out. I don't. Bad jokes all up in your face. I don't know. That wasn't even a joke. I don't know what that was. I was I was having an out-of-body experience recently. Anybody here into out-of-body experiences? Is this an OBE crowd? Yeah? No? On Facebook? No? Okay. Well, I was having an out-of-body experience recently, and I got really freaked out because my body opened its eyes, and it looked at me, and it said, I want you inside me. Because I was outside floating over. Bad jokes all up in your face. All right. Thank you so much. Oh. Wait. It wasn't that bad. Come on. All right. Well, I'm here in the bathroom. I had to take a quick little break. Sorry about that. I wrote this next bit after I had a wet nightmare. I just saw someone. It's disgusting in here, by the way. I mean, it looks like it's clean, but it smells really bad. There was somebody who just walked out of here, and this is true. Just walked out of this bathroom and did this. It's truly disgusting. Oh, violating so much protocol. I mean, shouldn't be licking your fingers, and I don't know. Gotta wash your hands and. Okay, well, I'm gonna do my. I'm gonna turn this off. Oh wow, now we're back to normal. Because we're over here. I'm gonna do my my Seinfeld impression. Hope you guys know who Seinfeld is. So this makes sense. All right, thank you so much. Thank you. Oh man. Okay, so this next bit is I'm just jumping all over the place. This next thing is my impression of Steven Seagal, who is a famous action star performing Ave Maria. Hopefully you guys get this reference, both references. We got any Ave Maria fans? Yeah, it's a great song. Steven Seagal, if you don't know, is an action star. I think he was a sheriff at some point. I think he's friends with Vladimir Putin. I think he's just a Renaissance man, and he's also a blues guitar player. So this isn't really out of the question of something he would do. So this is Steven Seagal performing Ave Maria.
Hey, watch it!
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It was Ave Maria performed by Steven Seagal. No police were actually harmed in that reenactment. It was just a reenactment. Just want to say. Okay. All right, thank you. Oh, jeez. I'm gonna go over to my parents real quick. My parents' place, and this is Beth. This is Jeth. This is Beth and Jeth Reel. It's my parents, and they wrote me a song for quarantine when this whole thing started. They missed me. They wanted to write a song telling me how much they. You'll see. This is a song they wrote for me. I'm not your real mom. I'm not your real dad. You're not my real son. But it's okay because we still love you. It's okay because we still love you. It's okay because we still love you. You will always make us so very, very proud. So, the moral of the story is they love me, and that's all I could. That's all I can ask for. Did you guys like my version of the song that you sent me? Okay, great. How about you? Cool. Steven Seagal. I mean, wait, who are you? Sylvester Stallone. Sylvester, did you like it? All right, well, trying to get a range, because if your parents say they like it, it's probably not that great. I mean, I'm not, okay. I know some parents are on this very call right now. All right, I'm gonna move over and do some of my world-class DJ material, and here we go.
Drop it, pick it up, drop it, pick it up, pick it up, drop it, pick it up, drop it, pick it up, pick it up, drop it, pick it up, 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 drop it.
All right, I don't know if you guys saw what was happening there, but it's a little commentary on helping out Mother Earth in these crazy times. At the beginning, you saw somebody drop a water bottle out of a moving car, and then transitioned into a woman helping clean up her neighborhood. She was picking things up, and then at the end there was the Russian taxi driver wasn't having it, so he threw. It's interesting because, yeah, he was dropping it. Yeah, he was dropping. I'm gonna drop it. I'm gonna drop. This is a stupid. This is a stupid. All right, I'm gonna do a party trick. This is something you guys can do at your next. If we can ever have parties again, I'm really missing it. But if we can get out there, and have fun again with friends and family, you could do this to make them to wow them. All you need is a cup of water, a finger, and some lips. It's pretty easy. You dip your finger in the water, and then you rub your finger around your lips in a circular motion like this. It's like a wine glass. It's not that impressive, and I get why there's silence happening. But if you have 7 people of varying heights, and you get them all doing that, you can get like melodies and chords, and the possibilities are almost endless. Not quite endless. I can't calculate those numbers. But if you go in the opposite direction, this is a lot more effective, I don't know. But try this. Put your finger in the water, go in the opposite direction on your lips like this. Here we go.
The 7th level is the lair of the beast. May darkness descend upon all in the void of light under the black sun.
So you do that at parties or whatever, you just change it up, Do we have any, let's see, what can I do here? I'm looking at my list of weird things. Okay. I don't know how much time I have. How much time do I have? Like 3 minutes left? Ish. Okay.
1 to 3.
Okay. 1 to 3. I'm just going to do this thing then. This is, Match.com asked me to make them an ad to put on their MySpace for MySpace. So I'm going to show you guys this ad that I did that was placed on MySpace not too long ago. Here we go. King Crimson reference for anybody. Okay. Okay, wait, hold on a second. Sorry. It says you will always be lonely, deal with it. Click OK to accept. Sorry. I don't know why. I'm on a Mac. I'm on a Mac here. You've forsaken me for the last time. Click OK to Naomi, do you know what? This sounds like one of my songs. Okay, well, I guess I'll do the song. These are the lyrics.
You've forsaken me. You've forsaken me for the last time. You've forsaken me. You've forsaken me for the last time. Your emotions get emotional when you're constantly forsaken. You froze my heart like a tundra, a hollow man like Kevin Bacon. You're like a deadbeat dad for all the promises you're breaking. You're like the U.S. government for all the misery you're making. So you've forsaken me. You've forsaken me for the last time. You've forsaken me. You've forsaken me for the last time. You've forsaken me. You've forsaken me for the last time. You've forsaken me. You've forsaken me for the last time. I used to feel like a Mando, but now I'm basic instincts too. You put a werewolf in my birthday cake, and then you scream surprise. You like to put me in my place. You know that I don't even live here. You broke our last dinner date, then my heart and my legs. So you've forsaken me. You've forsaken me for the last time. Everybody! You've forsaken me. You've forsaken me for the last time. You've forsaken me. You've forsaken me for the last time. You've forsaken me. You've forsaken me for the last time.
Okay, that's it, I think. Thank you so much. Okay. Well, all right. Thanks, everybody. I've been DJ Real. Thank you.
Hear it one more time for DJ Real.
Thanks. Thank you.
Woo. That last song could have been a political commentary.
I think it could have been, yeah, something. Could have been reworked into some chant or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anybody can use it they want. If yes, take it, please. Take it.
Excellent.
It's on Spotify, by the way, if you want to check it out. Okay, bye.
Woo! Wow, we've had so many epic songs this show. That was excellent. I don't want to tarry at all. The show has been so exciting and fun and awesome. So I want to bring right up our final act, who holds multiple engineering degrees and is an accomplished comedian, actor, and improviser based in Los Angeles. She's performed in San Francisco Sketchfest, the All Jane Comedy Festival, and all around the world. So please give a warm welcome to Pallavi Gunalan.
Hey! Cameras up, bitches! Where are you? Mom, Dad? I'm gonna be disrespectful as fuck. I don't care. Hi, everyone. Hi, John. Hi, Ari and Laura. Hi, Oriana. Am I saying that right? That can't be right. And Jason. There's Kasha. EF. Okay. All right. Here we go. I'm really happy to be here. You guys, fucking Nick, DJ Real, just put on an entire concert, and I have to follow that. I have to follow a full fucking concert. I have multimedia. It's the cops you can hear in the background. I live in downtown LA. It's fun to walk the dog. I don't know. I like how the cops are like, we're not loud enough. People need to hear us. We need to express ourselves. No, cop jokes aren't funny. Okay, cool. Then that means that you guys are going to donate a lot. I like it. Let's see. I think Nick is I think he's so funny, but I can't appreciate his funniness because of how good he is with tech. I'm like, damn, how did he get the sound to sync up that way? Like the whole time, I'm just like really impressed with him because all of you fuckers are scientists. You're all scientists, but the one thing that can take down every professor is a PowerPoint. You've all seen it. You've all seen every professor you've ever had just like be like pulled down by a PowerPoint not working. It is brilliant. It really connects humanity, I think. Are all of you muted right now, or am I just not funny? Is that Oriana and Jason? What the fuck? It's a hard time right now. Laugh, bitches. Jesus Christ. Ari and Laura are like, no, you're gonna have to work for it. No, I really am. They're not laughing. Ari is like, fuck you. Oh man, I love nerds. Okay. I don't know. Nick was just like interpretive dancing in a computer the whole time. And I was like, this is beautiful. There's no, I'm gonna follow it. He's not DJ Real. Sorry, I used his real name. Oh no, it's like telling everyone who Batman is. DJ Real. I have to ask. Are you on? I don't think he's on.
I'm here. I'm here.
Oh,
Hold
you're
on.
there?
Sorry.
This is insulting, so I'm gonna ask it. Were you homeschooled?
Oh, that is insulting.
I know, but
not to insult the people that have been homeschooled, but
no, I'm gonna insult them.
But no,
you haven't. Okay, but it's only because you're like so good at that shit, and it's so like weird and out there, right? Like homeschooled kids. Donald Glover was a Jehovah's Witness, and he is the way he is for that reason. Like
Right.
He had no friends, he never got to party, and now he's a Renaissance man, and it's like he didn't have a good childhood, you guys. That's why he is that way. I don't know.
I had bad asthma, really bad asthma.
Okay, thank you,
So,
white
I was
privilege.
an indoor
Fuck off. I'm sorry. Sure, he had a peanut allergy too. Okay.
Yep.
I was just telling him how I've been really sad because usually when I'm on stage I yell at people, and it's been really hard to yell at people during Zoom shows, but she finds a way, she will persist. I don't know. I've just been thinking about it, and everyone's talking about the pandemic. Everyone's talking about healthcare. Everyone's talking about the fucking race war that's happening. And it's just like, no one is talking about the fact that around the world, there's going to be a whole generation of people that were homeschooled kids. Like everyone right now, every child right now is getting homeschooled, and we're not talking about the fallout of that, of how they're going to be weird at parties, and like they're going to have nobody to pull them into conversations, and they're going to be too enthusiastic about everything. No one is talking about this. I'm seriously concerned. I don't know. What else do like homeschooled kids do? I feel like they were the only ones that were good at like those scholastic fundraisers or whatever. Like I feel like but they're homeschooled. So it's like they were just selling to their parents. I don't know. I have no idea. I bet they're also really good at like sewing, probably. I bet they like made their own prom dresses and then had nowhere to go. But that's what happened. That's what happened this year. Just got a bunch of homeschooled kids we're gonna have to deal with in the office. It's like they're gonna be so annoying in like 20 years. I have no idea how to talk to anyone. I don't know. I really liked everybody's sets. It was really fun. The only thing that I got from Kasha's set, the entire thing, and this is more on me than it is on anybody, is that you have a boyfriend? Oh my God, you have someone you get to fight with? I fantasize about that shit. Not just because I'm confrontational and this is normally the tone of my voice. But it's just, I don't know. Anytime I have a crush on a guy, I'm just like, how would we break up? This is hot. Like, that is what I jump to, because it's just that. Who is laughing? Jason, were you laughing? Is that? I know one person was laughing. So John, you're next. But Jason, for now, Oh man, do you guys fight a lot?
No.
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 Oh, we're gonna have one tonight. Let's see, what can we make you fight about? What do you guys have not in common?
He really likes ketchup a lot, and I.
Wow, you guys. Wow. Okay. I was just thinking about the shit my parents fight about. What?
He's really ashamed for how much he likes it.
You're ashamed for how much you like ketchup? White people have no problems. Is this correct? Is that right? Is that what you're telling me?
Totally right.
Does he have like a shame ketchup fridge in the garage? Is that what he's hiding?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Do you not like, do you like overhit the bottle? You're just like, I just need to get the last bit out. Does that happen?
I mean, sometimes you want to make sure.
This sounds like your kink, but like in the most boring way. Were you homeschooled? Were either of you homeschooled?
I went to a very small private school.
What?
A very small private school.
Yeah, was it composed of you and your brother and sister? Is that how small it was? Are you Mormon? Was it composed of you and your brother and your sister and your brother and your sister and your sister and your sister and your brother and your sister and your brother and your brother and your sister and your sister and your brother? Was that what it was?
No.
No, I grew up in Utah. I can only assume, you know? Oh man. Oh God. I don't even have a joke for this, but do you guys know Lindsey Graham and Tom Cotton? Do you guys know them?
Yeah.
Did Ari say you don't know? Ari, do you not know Lindsey Graham? I think he's muted, but he looks confused, and I'm going to assume that means no. And this is exactly what the fuck is wrong with our country, you guys. But they're both like these super conservative Republican dudes who just got outed as like anti-LGBTQ dudes who just got outed as being gay by Twitter, you guys. Yeah, check your fucking Twitter, Oriana. There's so much more than ketchup on there. It's incredible. It's where revolutions are built, okay? It's where all the memes come from, and it's where all the bad gays get outed, which I think I'm fine with. Are you guys fine with outing gay people who are just like anti-gay? Are you guys cool? Are we all cool with that? Can we all agree with that? Okay, I feel like Chase is nodding too hard, and I can't tell if that means you're gay or like really not gay. You don't know. Oh, that's fun. I like that. We'll find that out. By the end of the show, we'll figure out if Chase is gay or not. Now I'm just outing audience members. That's not okay. But I am bi. I'm bi. I think it's so funny. Like, did you guys watch Tiger King? Did you guys watch that?
Yeah.
Everybody watched it, of course. No, Naomi didn't. Oh, wow. You are in for a thrill. First of all, I want to say that Carol Baskin killed her husband. We all know that. For sure she killed her husband, right? She totally killed her husband. And I think she's a hero for that. I think a lot of women do think that she's a hero for that. That fucker like picked her up when she was on the street at 20 years old and left his wife he was old as fuck, and he picked up this girl and then just like had her, like brought her into his like fucking weird tiger harem. And then everybody was mad at her for killing a man. And it's like, listen, if we want to win, we have to kill some of them. Like, we have to be willing to murder. Do you know what I mean? And I am willing to do that. I think she's my hero because frankly, she just has a Netflix credit. And that's incredible, you know? She killed a man to get a Netflix credit. I would do that to get on a lineup. Do you know what I mean? Like, just a hero. But I do think it's funny that we asked for LGBTQ representation and we got Tiger King and the Aaron Hernandez documentary. Those are what we got. Do any of you nerds know Aaron Hernandez? Do you guys know? No, some of you, okay. Aaron Hernandez, really hot football player, fucking murderer, literal murderer, killed himself while he was in prison. Spoiler alert. So that his family could get the money. So like also kind of hero, but he literally killed people. And Tiger King was filled with like queer people who did crazy shit, right? Like trying to kill people. I just think it's so funny that's the representation we got. Like in the Aaron Hernandez documentary, He had the worst case of CTE, brain damage, right, caused by being in the NFL, right? He had the worst case of someone his age ever recorded, and the whole time they were like, I guess he was murdering people because he was just so gay, like, and had to hide it. I guess it was because he was so closeted. Like 98% of the documentary was them talking about how gay he was, and 2% was like brain shit. And it's like, what? Like, you guys, his brain was broken. Come on, that's why he killed people. And they were like, yeah, his brain was broken. We said that. He's gay. That's what they did the entire documentary. It was incredible. You guys should watch it. It's really fun how they spin that. But I don't know, there are all these like gay villains, right? Like that's a thing, that's a trope, right? There are a bunch of gay villains, and like the Joker, fucking gay as hell. And, like, there's just so many gay villains in all of pop culture. And it's just like, I want to be the next one. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just want to be that Carol Baskin, but for me, right? I just want to be as successful as a Disney gay villain, right? Ursula for sure was gay. What do you think she was doing with all those tentacles? Getting in there, you know? What she was doing. She was very hot. Okay. I didn't realize I was like, I'm bi, and I've never been in a real relationship with a woman. But that's only because I just don't like nice guys, and women are the nicest guys. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're just so nice and caring, and kind, you know? And it's like, what does that phrase, what does that say? Nice guys finish last, you know? And it's like, nice guys finish after you do is what it should be. And that's not my style, you know? I'm not into that. I prefer to just end my night frustrated. So that's why I've been dating men. I haven't, okay, Oriana's laughing a little too hard, and that's how we start this fight. It's happening, people! This is how we get them mad. Maybe that's why he hits the ketchup bottle so hard. He's like, just get it out of there. They're both, okay, well, whatever. We're not going to talk about that. We will again later. We'll come back to it. I don't know. I found out it's recent discoveries, realizing that I'm queer, and I just kept waking up in the middle of the night being like, why did I only remember one scene from Black Swan? You know, just like freaking out. If you don't know this scene, you haven't seen Black Swan. And I also want you guys to know that I did ballet for the majority of my life, so should have been able to keep any of the rest of it in my mind, but I didn't. Oh, if you guys were wondering, I put up this picture. Kasha said that her brother's name is Cubby. My brother's name is Cubby too. What the fuck? Indian people are all the same, you guys. Even if there's 1.3 billion of us. Comedian, scientist, brown, Cubby. That's what we all have in common. I put up this picture of my brother because he recently finished graduating from his MD PhD program. I'm just gonna let that sink in. Okay, you guys aren't as impressed, but I just quit my PhD in December to do stand-up comedy. And here we are, living on the stage as I had assumed we would be. Huh? My timing's amazing. I'm fine. But he graduated his MD recently, and so I've just been popping this up, you know, every Zoom show I've been in, you know, just hoping my parents will like get lured in, you know, just like, you came here for Cubby and you found me, huh? And you found out I was gay. Okay. I went to Caltech and I'm the fucking underachiever in my family. Are any of you professors, you fucking robot builders, are you underachievers in your family? Who's the fuck up in your family? Naomi, who's the fuck up in your family? I want to know.
My whole family's here.
Your whole family's here? Wait, who's the fuck up in Naomi's family? Someone own up to this shit.
Self-identify.
Ari is the fuck up? Yeah, bitch, because you weren't laughing at me. That's how you fucked up. You done fucked up, son. Wait, why do you think, I'm going to do therapy, I don't care. Why do you think you're the fuck up in this family?
I guess I drink and stuff.
You drink and stuff? He drinks and stuff. That's how you're the fuck. What do you do for your career?
Math. I majored in math and stats.
He majored in math and stats and drinks. So because he drinks, he's the fuck up in the family. No, that just means he's not homeschooled. That's all that means. That means he's normal. That's what science communication looks like. Getting wasted and talking about stats. That's what it's about. I worked at none of this is jokes. I worked at a biotech company and I would just make sales by getting drunk with like test tube shots. Like that, nobody gives a shit about the actual science if you get them wasted. That feels a little rapey now that I say it. We're not gonna, you guys were like, maybe. Okay, great. We're not gonna qualify. Oh man, okay. Let's see, quarantine. Are you guys quarantined alone? Ari is not, Chase is not. Everybody else, are you quarantined alone? No, yes. Okay, the ones that are saying, I can't tell if you guys are real because you're saying no like you're so scared of seeing another person in real life. That's incredible. I'm not quarantined alone, but we're not, like, it's weird to start asking people to hug you, you know? It's weird to be like, never in the year that we've lived together have we ever touched, but can we just do it now? It's also hard for me to ask that because I live with white people and I'm just like, I don't want to give them this right now, you know? Like, I don't want to, this one, I don't know if we're allowed to do that right now, if we're allowed to hug a white person. I feel guilty watching like white TV shows and just like any white media anymore, you know? So it's really hard for me because then it's like, do I talk to myself? Because I did grow up in Utah. So I'm like a little confused about the culture. I'm like, you know, I don't know. I have been taking my phone out of its case just to feel close to someone. So that's been nice. That's been good. I have roommates that are like, some of them are moving out and a lot of people in my building. I live in downtown LA and it's like, it's a pretty like cheap building actually in downtown LA. And a lot of people are moving out because it's all these creatives who live here. And I just think it's so fucking tragic that so many of them are moving out instead of just learning math. Like, that sucks, right? Oh my God. So sad. That joke dies everywhere else, but us elite fucks, we're good with it, right? We're fine. We're fine with it. Let's see. I don't know. I just get really mad when people talk about, like all of us do, when people talk about science, when they don't know what the fuck they're talking about and they're misinformed and we have to sit there and they think we're idiots and they're condescending to us. And it's like, it's so frustrating, right? And it's like, right now, people like comparing corona to the flu. It's ridiculous, right? This thing is serious. Like, people are dying, right? Like, I recently lost another friend to corona. She didn't die. She just said some stupid shit, but I had to cut her off. You know what I mean? Like, it was too much. I was like, no, we're done talking. Let's see. Okay. I want to talk about the silver linings though, because I do think it's important. I think it's important to talk about the silver linings. Like, I went for a walk the other day outside and it was crazy because there was like no trash outside. There was like almost nothing, no trash. And by trash, I do mean men. So that was nice. That was fun for me. I love the 6 feet rule. I love that shit. It's like, it's really got me reevaluate. It's so great when they just like get out of your way, you know, finally, instead of like walking into you and stuff. It's like amazing. And I just started, I started taking advantage of it. I just started chasing men, just try to scare them a little, just try to like put the shoe on the other foot, you know, I'm just like, I get the thrill, guys. I get it. It's fun to run up behind a guy, you know, it's great. Listen, we don't all have to, if feminism means equality, right? Like, we don't all have to be better. We could all be worse too, you know, it doesn't matter. In that interest, I have started body shaming men. You can do this, ladies. You can body shame men. I found out recently. One of my friends brought up, after months of me not realizing, he brought up recently. He was like, "Hey, like a few months ago, yeah, like you called me a beta. You called me like a beta a few months ago." And I was like, Okay, so you guys, I mean, you guys know how short he was based on that statement. But so I called him a beta, apparently. I had no idea, and he remembered, and he took it to heart or whatever, and he brought it up again months later, and I was like, wow, what a gamma move, you know? That's crazy. Incredible. Okay, Chase, do we know if you're gay or not? Do we? Did I convince you? Did I
Ask her.
ask her? Is he gay? How gay is he? I'm so attracted to gay men. I'm like, I just want to fuck a gay dude. I'm not even kidding. Like, I wish I wasn't trying to like convert them. I don't know what I'm trying to do, but I just want to fuck a gay guy. I just feel like he would redecorate my insides. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it would be so good. None of you like that joke, but it's excellent. And you need to have more gay people in your life and inside of you. So I love that this is your family and I'm putting her. This is what we mean when white people need to talk to their family. We don't just mean about race. We also mean like, just be chill, you know, just get down about it. Hey, Oriana and Jason, are you guys divorced yet? Are you guys good?
We got divorced and then remarried.
You got divorced and then remarried?
Yep.
You guys are gonna fuck good tonight. I'm really excited to see your sex life recover. It's gonna be good. All right, I'm gonna go out on making you guys all uncomfortable with my brash self. But thank you guys so much. Don't worry, Ari, you're normal. Bye, guys.
Let's hear it one more time for Palvi.
Yeah.
Woo! Woo! Wow, that was such an educational show today. We learned so much, so many unexpected things about science, and yeah, rounded out, I think, the most political show I've ever hosted, the most feminist, but I'm happy. I feel so honored to have had so many awesome folks on the show today. I've been Naomi Fitter, and this has been Science and Comedy Showcase with the amazing Valerie, AJ, Kasha, DJ Real, and Pallavi. Thanks to the live audience, especially for weathering that last set. They've got a lot to think about tonight. And thanks to all of you out there on the internet and to the Majestic Theater for having us. So we'll have one last round of applause for everybody.
Woo.
And everybody consider tipping if you want to help Kasha buy a chair, among other causes. And yeah, I think
Don't do it. She's just gonna buy another bucket.
Could be.
A nicer bucket, though.
Nice.